What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Milwaukee Sports Performance Podcast. My name is Michael Faulk, and I am joined today by Cole Brown. Cole is a high school multi-sport athlete, primarily a golfer, but also plays soccer at University Lake School. He's going into his senior year, and Cole is kind of in the process of trying to play more and more state tournaments and put himself in position to eventually play college golf. So, Cole, thanks for taking the time to come on today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Well, tell us a little bit more kind of about your golf journey, um, maybe some of the highlights of this most recent summer and kind of where you're at in your road to college golf.
Yeah, of course. So I started playing tournament golf. I was going into sixth or seventh grade. Um, Used to play a lot of competitive soccer, and it just like wasn't my thing, was not working out, and golf just kind of arose and started to become my thing. Um, and really got like passionate and wanting to get better. Going into like freshman year, got decent, started shooting a little lower. And I mean, some highlights. I mean, high school golf has always been, it's a super fun experience. I mean, high school golf is just great in general. I love high school golf. It's very laid back, but it's also super competitive, and there's just a wide range of competition. So you can take it really seriously, or you can just go out there and have fun. Which is kind of how I like it to be, because I'm someone that is obviously very competitive and wants to win every time I go on the golf course, but at the same time, I like to have a good time with my friends and just go out there and have fun on the golf course. So, yeah, and then I also play junior golf, so primarily WPGA golf. Kids under 18 just go out and play 1 to 2 day events normally. Sometimes the occasional 3 day with a cut. Um, and it's just kind of a drive to the finish. Whoever can shoot lowest score wins. And then I've been like dipping my toes into some amateur golf in the last couple of years. Played some amateur qualifiers, some state open qualifiers, and then some occasional like amateur qualifiers. So those are definitely harder courses, harder competition, and guys that are at times 20, 30 years older than me, and I'm paired with a guy who has 3 kids, and I'm just some 17-year-old trying his best. So um it's definitely a cool experience to play in a wide variety of tournaments. That's one of my favorite things. I like going from tournaments that I have a chance at winning to tournaments that I basically am just going out there and trying to get middle of the pack. So
Yeah.
I think that's it's a crucial part in trying to play at the highest level is, yeah, playing tournaments that you know you're going to go out there and you're probably going to get top five, but then also playing tournaments that like will beat you up if you mess up. So being able to being able to come back from being in 90th place out of 150 guys is, it's tough. I mean, it's like it sucks, but I mean, at the same time, it's part of the sport, and you have to be able, it's an individual sport, so you have to be able to understand that not every day is going to be a good day, and being able to bounce back from that is the most crucial part of it all.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And as one of the guys that plays some of the state AM events and gets paired up with high
Yeah.
school kids, you got to remember like the older guys that you're with, we're all jealous and nervous that we're playing with a kid that doesn't have a job and doesn't have kids. He can just practice and play golf all day. We feel like we're at the
True, yeah,
disadvantage.
for sure.
No, it's really interesting. I mean, it sounds like you've kind of gotten into a variety of um, tournaments, and there's different reasons for playing different events. How did you go about learning the tournament landscape and sort of building a summer schedule and trying to decide like what event is the right fit for me to play and what do I need to play to set myself up to try to get recruited?
Yeah, for sure. I think when I started out playing, I was playing a lot of 1 day events, just single day, like no cut, nothing, just you sign up and you play pretty much. And as I started to learn that I was getting a little better and I started to have an interest just to play in college, you definitely want to sign up and play in the tournaments that have cuts, or 2 day events or 3 day events that are more high stakes. Those are the tournaments that more high level golfers are going to play in, and then the occasional amateur tournament that you're in, you might be paired up with some guy who is in college, and it's a pretty rewarding feeling when you're right there with him. And it actually just it really shows what level you're at when you play in those higher end tournaments. The one day tournaments, like you could have a bad day or you could have a really good day, and it's not really it's not really, it doesn't matter all that much. I mean, they're still really fun and they're great tournaments, but I mean, for college coaches to see that you played 3 days in a row and you shot all decent rounds and I mean, low to 70s, that's a really good thing to have on your resume. And I mean, when you email a coach and you say, last week I shot 71, 72, 73 at whatever blah blah course it is, I mean, that catches their eye. I mean, it sucks that a lot of it is the scoring that catches their eye,
Yeah.
but in the grand scheme of things, I mean, the scoring is what matters. And when you write on the top of the email that you just had a really good week at some hard course against 150 guys, like that's gonna that's gonna catch their eye, and they're gonna want to say, okay, yeah, that's really awesome. What went right? What went wrong? And what are you doing next week? So I think for choosing a schedule for at least summer golf, I think looking for the bigger tournaments with more kids that are multi-day is definitely the best choice.
Yeah. No, I think that's smart and something really to pass on because I know talking to some younger kids that are just getting into the field, it's
Yeah.
like there's all these like AGGA points and there's like all these
Yeah,
different things and it can be really confusing. Like you need to qualify into certain ones, and if you don't play the right ones, then you'll never get enough points to get into the ones you want to play. So definitely
yeah.
sounds like it's not an easy system to navigate the first time.
No, yeah, for sure. It's definitely really confusing, but I mean, there's a lot of ways to go about it, and you can talk to a lot. I mean, I've talked to a bunch of people that are all playing in college, and they tell me like, yeah, this is a good event to play, and those types of you got to just find those types of people, and they'll guide you in the right direction.
Yeah, that's perfect. You kind of mentioned something that when you're talking to the college coaches, a lot of time they'll ask you like what went what went right, what went wrong, and what are you going to do. But what's your process when you play a tournament round for kind of breaking down how the round went and identifying? I mean, yes, ultimately there's a number on the scorecard, but there's always like a story behind it of like why is it not lower or why like maybe a day that you just didn't have it, but you still got in the hole a lot. So
For
how
sure.
do you go about it? Do you have a process that you do after a tournament to kind of reflect and build a plan?
Yeah, for sure. As I'm playing my tournament rounds, I like to just keep track on my scorecard. I mean, now a lot of our scoring is electronic, but I always like to have a scorecard.
Yeah.
And I just like to make little tallies on every hole, saying, did I hit the fairway? Did I make a green regulation? And how many putts did I have? And at the end of the round, it's really interesting to go back and like look like, okay, did I putt it well? Did I have, I don't know, let's say under 29 putts? Did I have under 29 putts? Was it a really good putting day? Did I have any three putts? I'll always start with the putting. I think I mean, for me, I can lose a lot of strokes on the putting green, or I can gain a lot of putting or a lot of
Yeah.
strokes on the putting green. So, I like to analyze putting pretty, pretty intensely and stick to like a number that I want to be under whenever I'm at a tournament with putting. And then I'll go into like, okay, was it a windy day, or like what were the conditions like, and was that affecting like me hitting greens um and fairways? And obviously if it's, I mean, we live in Wisconsin, so if it's blowing 20 and it's 40 degrees, obviously it's gonna be harder to hit greens. But if it's
Yeah.
70 degrees and sunny and not windy at all, then there's not really much of an excuse as to why I
Yeah.
didn't hit every green. I mean, so I like to just keep a tally on all the holes, and did I hit the green or did I not? And then fairways, like what club did I normally write, like 2 iron or driver or 7 iron or whatever club I hit off the tee on that hole. Um, and that also is nice to keep a tally of, because the next day when you're playing a tournament at the same course, and maybe it's a windy day, and it's the day before was into the breeze, and today is down breeze, and yesterday I hit driver and I hit it through the fairway, and it was even into the breeze. So now I know, yeah, I need to probably hit like 4 iron or 2 iron or 3 wood off this hole, just to just keep like a mental note of what you are setting yourself up for the next day. But yeah, I mean, after the round, look at the scorecard, go through it, and then I just like to write like in my notes app or in a notebook. Like today, I hit this many putts, this many greens, and this many fairways. I felt really good about the fairways because it was a really windy day. And even though I didn't hit that many fairways, I feel like the fairways I did hit were really crucial and meant a lot. And then the next time I go to the range or go practice my short game, I know what I need to practice, and I'm going into that practice routine with a plan and really like grasping what is going to set me up the next time I'm playing a tournament like this. So,
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's a really good process. And for someone that's never played like tournament golf before, I always like, and I'm not trying to play professionally or, even win a state am or anything like that. That's not the
yeah.
level my game is at. I like doing it because I feel like it helps me play golf well other places or in club events. And it's just a fun
Mhm.
challenge. But I always tell people too, I'm like, there's no hiding when you're in a tournament. Like every part of your game, like whatever's not as good is probably going to get exposed. And it's like a
Yeah,
really
for
good
sure.
way to accelerate your progress where you're playing with other really good players. You can see exactly how, how do you hit it as well as them? Do you hit it like as close as them? Like where are they beating you? And you can just like instantly get feedback on like, all right, if I want to improve, this is the part of my game that I need to work on.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have any like highlights from your tournament season this summer, either whether it be like your best result or just like the tournament that was coolest to play in that you could share?
Yeah. I mean, as a junior golfer, we definitely play at a lot of beautiful courses, which is a big highlight. I don't know, I played the Irish course, I played Milwaukee Country Club, Wisconsin Country Club. I played a number of beautiful courses are in this area that are, I mean, awesome courses, obviously. But I mean, a highlight from the summer, I've had a few low couple 2 day rounds that are 3 day. I just recently played the Wisconsin Junior Boys Championship at Washington Country Club or Washington County Golf Course. Um, and made the cut there. Had like a decent first day, mid 70s, and then next 2 days really consistently was low mid 70s, and it was it was a good week. That was one of those tournaments that like if you're gonna send that to a college coach, that's definitely going to be very appealing because I mean, it's a big name tournament. There was like 200 kids in that field, so um, those types of tournaments are really nice to finish in and make a cut, and it feels really good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, congratulations on that. It's a serious golf course. It's,
Thank you.
I always
Yeah.
describe it as like it's a little bit of a dumbed down version of Aaron Hills, but still a really
hmm
really good test of golf.
Yeah, they had that place to the nine, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, rolling. So, and
Yeah.
there's no shelter from the wind if it's blowing at all. So,
No, exactly.
well, I know that weekly schedules can be up and down because obviously, if you're playing tournaments and things like that, that's going to throw it off. But in an ideal week for you or a typical week, how do you go about building a practice schedule? How do you kind of divide up like time working on a short game and putting versus the full swing? And how do you go about setting those priorities?
Yeah, for sure. I think I base most of my practice off of the previous tournament that I played. Like I said earlier, I write it all down on some sort of note area. Um,
Yeah.
and I go into every practice routine with like a just like an open mentality, like this is a new thing, like almost like going into a tournament. Like I just go into it as okay, anything could happen today. It's either good or bad, and whatever happens, happens. But I like to start normally with going to the range, hitting some smooth tempo like wedges or short irons just at targets. I think that's really crucial as like a player that's trying to get better is hitting hitting a target like consistently because you're never going to be on a course and not have to hit a target. Like you're always going to be having to shoot for the middle of the green, or if you're trying to go after it, go for the pin or whatever it is. So I think picking different targets um, is a really big part of my practice routine. Just understanding how far I'm hitting each club, and being able to hit it being able to hit, let's say, a 7 iron 190 yards, and being able to hit a 7 iron 140 yards. Because I mean, in tournament, like there's a vast amount of shots that you're gonna have to hit, and you might end up having to hit a 7 iron from 140 yards if you're stuck under a tree and there's a creek right behind. Like there's just so many different types of shots that you're not going to be able to perform on the range because it's wide open and it's right in front of you, and there's normally
Yep.
not really any hazards on a range. So I think pretending like you're under a tree or you're in a bad lie like is a really important part of taking your game to the next level. And then I'll go, and if the previous tournament wasn't a good driver day or whatever it is, I'll hit some drivers. I'll do little games on the range. Like I make like a fairway on the range, and I have to hit 10 out of 20 balls in, like I have to be 50% in that fairway before I can leave or whatever it is. But I think sticking to like a routine that makes you challenge yourself is also really important, because you should have to it's golf is all pressure. Like it's an individual thing, and there's going to be people watching, so you got to be able to perform under pressure. So I think hitting shots that actually feel like they matter on the range is important. um and then obviously short game, I'll go do the same thing for short game. Chip, putt, and then hit like s- knock down shots that like would pretend like being under the wind or whatever it needs to be. And then basing all of that obviously off of my most recent tournament result. So
Yeah, and just emphasizing different things. No, that's great. What what are some of your favorite games to play? You mentioned the driving one with the fairway. That's one that I like, and I'll
yeah,
do 10 balls. You have to hit all 10 in the fairway. If you miss one, you have to go make, I'll like set out a putt distance, like a 4 or 6 footer. If you can make two from there, then you don't have to start over. You can just go hit more drivers. If you miss one of the putts, then you got
yeah.
to start the 10 over. But what are some other like practice games or short game games that you like to play when you're out there practicing?
I think for putting, a big one is I call it like the around the world drill.
Yeah.
Just setting different putts around the same hole, about the same distance away, like 4, 5, 6 feet. Um, and just you have to make. I do two balls from each spot. I'll like set a tee, and I have to make um, every putt basically before I leave from that distance. And then normally I'll start at 4 feet, and then I'll go to 6 feet, and then I'll go to 8 feet, and every spot I give myself a little bit more leeway just because it's a longer putt and it's
Yep.
less likely to go in, obviously. So um, I'll do that drill. And then for lag putting, I like to set out different targets. I'll do like coins in front of in front of the hole, and I have to get the ball to stop in between that gap of coins before it gets to the hole. So like let's say I'm hitting a 60-foot putt, I'll put a coin at 40 feet and then 20 feet, and I need to get the ball in between those gaps. Just practicing like speed and um, just good course management on fast greens is super important for playing high end tournaments. Just being able to hit different distances over and over again, because I mean every putt is going to be a little bit different when you're playing out there.
Yeah, for sure. I'll add one. I went and did this for the first time with my son the other day, where he's playing. They do like Operation 36, it's called, for the junior golf, and so they have to play from 25 yards or 50 yards, and they have to shoot under 36 from whatever distance
Okay,
before they can move back to the next one. So he asked me to play with him the other day, and I was like, yeah. And it was funny. It was like amazing how good a practice it is to go play some of these like awkward distances and see
for
how many
sure.
times can you get up and down from it and things like that. So it's not something
Oh
that you
yeah.
go do very often when you're just out there by yourself.
Yeah, you don't hit many 32-yard wedge shots. I mean,
No, you
it's
don't.
you gotta
Yeah, and if you want to make a two, if you're like I was trying to make as many twos, see how many twos I could make in 9 holes, and it's like amazing how you either got to make a really good putt or you got to hit it really close.
really close. Yeah, For
Yeah,
sure.
you have a bunch that I was like, man, I felt like that was a good wedge, but it still runs out to 12, 15 feet, and there's just like not many of those really going in.
Yeah, some like
So
tester slider down the hill. It's like, dude,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, exactly. So if you ever want to borrow Jordan and go scramble around from 50 yards, you're welcome welcome to it.
for sure.
Um, how do you incorporate like your fitness routine into your golf week? Do you have certain days that you always stick to? Do you do different things based off um, the like your practice schedule, your tournament schedule, or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, as a multi-sport athlete, I definitely lift heavier in the winter just because it's more time free, and just can get to the gym more often. But during the season for golf, I try to do some sort of workout about 3 times a week, um, and then just basing that off of like how I'm feeling or whatever it is. Maybe doing a full body workout and like getting actually like weights out and doing the whole thing, but then also doing mobility and stretching and stuff like that on top of it. But I have a pretty good uh, like set out workout that I do before the tournament, like on the range or in my room or in my basement, whatever, before I go play. Just incorporating like some strength and mobility stuff, and then like some activation and stuff for speed. That just helps me feel better, I guess, when I'm out there
Yeah,
playing. And then obviously working at Kinetic has really helped me like understand what I need to be doing, what is actually going to like help me succeed and hit the ball farther and be able to stay in a 2, 3 day tournament the whole time and feel pretty good toward the end of it.
yeah, yeah. That's great. That's awesome. I think it's a key part and something that sometimes players, particularly young players, can miss early on, but can really build good habits as you keep going.
Yeah.
Um, okay, awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about like mental game. Um, do you have you've kind of mentioned some things about your post round routine with the journaling and stuff, and even now pre-shot or pre-round, like I have this workout that I always do, some of these things that way. Do you have a specific pre-shot process that you really try to stick to? And if you don't mind sharing and walking people through what that looks like.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I mean, it is basically just trusting yourself as much as you possibly can and understanding that when you're at a tournament, you should feel somewhat ready. I mean, obviously there's jitters that are going to happen and that's normal, but I mean, I've started to kind of like grow into my shell a little bit more and understand that, I am decent at golf and like I can hit the golf shot under pressure. And it's just trusting yourself when you're on the tee, like this is going to be fine. Like nothing is gonna happen after this round. Like if I play bad, I play bad. If I play good, let's go. That's sweet.
Yep.
So I think for me, just when I'm standing over the ball on the first hole, um, picking a target obviously is big for me and saying I'm going to hit it here, that would be the best spot. And then also understanding if I miss it, what the best spot to miss it in is. So aiming, if that means on a really windy day, a little bit more left because the ball is going to come back right. And that's the best spot to miss it is what you got to do. So I think, I mean, golf's about misses, obviously. So understanding that if I miss my preferred target, if it goes a little bit right or a little bit left of that, is it going to be okay? Um, so I think that's crucial for me. But I mean, pre-shot, I'm standing over the ball, giving myself a couple seconds, looking at my shot, picking my target, taking a deep breath, and then maybe like a couple club twirls or whatever it is, stand up there and just go. Like don't you can't spend more than a couple seconds over it because it gets bad when it spirals and things go wrong. So you just kind of gotta I think it's all about just committing and trusting yourself and knowing that I'm at this tournament for a reason and I am good enough to be here. So hitting the shot and if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen and you go hit it again. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really interesting. It's something that when I went through the Titleist certification through the Titleist Performance Institute, those guys will actually look at players that they work with and like what is that routine. And basically, I mean, they separate it out even at that level from there's the decision making process, and they don't really time because it's a really windy day. If it's in between yardage, whatever, like that might take more
Yeah.
time to like make a decision. But typically there's like every player has like a trigger, like, okay, they do the same thing every time. And then that goes from like thinking to executing, and they'll like literally
Yeah.
time it. And it's to within like milliseconds of once they start their routine to like to actually hit it. And they'll actually look at it when a player's in contention or maybe on the cut line, like playing under more stress, and they'll go back and look and often see they're spending more time over the ball. They're doing like, or maybe they're getting hurried up, like they're going way quicker, like they almost don't want to rush. So I think that aspect is super important for people.
Yeah, it's super neat. I mean, don't get me wrong, starting out, I've definitely had some mental yips and couldn't figure it out for a really long time, but I still can't figure it out sometimes. I mean, I'm still up and down every once in a while, and it just doesn't go your way every once in a while, and it just you spiral. But I think limiting that spiral and understanding that everything's going to be fine is really important to know.
Yeah, yeah, I agree completely. It's like you said, it's a game of misses, and managing expectations, and getting comfortable with like, I'm gonna hit it, I'm gonna go find it, I'm gonna hit it again until
Yeah,
until the round's over. So
yeah,
let's
exactly.
talk a little bit more recruiting now, just for people that are interested. Kind of what's your recruiting experience been like? When did you really start um, thinking about recruiting, trying to work that process, and any tips or feedback that you have for people that way?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said earlier, I didn't really know I wanted to play in college until about freshman year-ish. But didn't really jump into anything big until sophomore year is when I started sending some emails. I went to a camp last summer and in Wake Forest, North Carolina, and got to learn a lot about the recruiting process and how it all works. Heard from Jerry Haas, the Wake Forest coach, who's a renowned coach, amazing at what he does. Taught us all about just where to set yourself up in and what to be doing as you reach the college stuff. But I would say putting your name out there is crucial. So if that means having an Instagram or sending a lot of emails or whatever it is, I mean, you're probably going to have to do a mixture of all of it in the long run. I mean, I send a number of emails a week to all these coaches, and just being annoying is almost how I would put it, like being being like right at their doorstep at all times. And I mean, you might be like the annoying thing is you might be like the second in line guy, and he's literally waiting or she's literally waiting for you to say, this is my next tournament round and I just shot this, and that's what gets you in. So I think it's just being as active as possible and really adamant about what you want and having really good school spirit and saying, I would play for your team. I want to go to this school because of these reasons. And it shouldn't always be golf too. I mean, you have to show that you're a well-rounded human being. You like to go to school, you have friends, you do other things that aren't just golf. And I think that's also a really important thing is in your email, yeah, I just shot 69 and 72 and 71 at this really cool tournament, but are you going to school and are you getting good grades and are you a well-rounded human being that plays more than just golf and goes to the concerts and hangs out with their friends, like stuff like that. You also have to tell your coaches because they're human beings as well. And it's important to hear that you're not just some dud who only plays golf.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. There's more to it than that. How did you go about identifying? I mean, I'm sure there's schools that you would love to go to, but how have you tried to zero in on like, okay, this is a school that my caliber, I fit, this level of college. These are the types of whether it be lower like D1, D2, D3, or like what's how did you zero in on that target niche?
Yeah, for sure. I think obviously, I mean, the scoring is where you can see the differences. I mean, SEC, ACC, even Big Ten guys are their number one guys are consistently shooting high 60s, low 70s every single day they go out there. Obviously, they are going to have an occasional bad round, but um, I think I mean, you can go on to any college team's website, look at their stats, and if you don't line up with I mean, the scoring averages, but also like what they're shooting every day and what the coach is saying, then I mean, maybe that's not the right fit for you. But that's personally how I gauge where I want to play. You can obviously really tell from all the scores that they're shooting, but then where you want to live, where you want to be playing golf, I am someone that likes to be outside. So I've been looking a little bit west for mountains, and then east, there's a lot of lakes and a lot of beautiful golf courses there as well. Um, but I am personally looking for D2, D3 range. Um, Also not wanting the Division 1 commitment as much just because it's basically your life for 4 years,
Yeah.
which is something that I don't really want to be doing. But I've visited like a wide range. I've visited Big D1. Obviously, I went to Wake Forest. I've met the Duke coach. I've met um, the UNC Chapel Hill coach. Like I've met all those guys. They're great people, and I think it's just choosing obviously the level of golf, but then also the kind of team you want to be on, kind of coach you want to be coached by, and the location in the country that you want to be playing in. So
Yeah. No, I think that's really good advice for people because everyone does focus on the level, but it's like, well, there's a lot more to choosing a school than just that, and maybe it's the coach, but like coaches move on too. Like you better really enjoy more than just one element of a school before you make a
for
decision
sure.
and really think through the whole process.
Yeah, that's why I've really enjoyed a lot of these schools that I've been looking at on the East because the golf there is super duper competitive. I mean, there's a lot of those guys on those D3 teams are just as good as a lot of guys on D1 teams. Um, it's just the difference in some of the scoring averages is like a tweak bit different. There's little minor things that are slightly different, and you're playing at, I mean, renowned golf courses that are just outstanding, and you're in a awesome place in the country. So
Yeah, no, that's great. Is there one myth at all that you've like were told or would have maybe just believed early on that you've kind of learned through the process to maybe ignore that you you wish you would have done differently early on?
yeah, I know I say scoring a lot, but definitely scoring is a myth that I think a lot of juniors think is the only thing that matters. Obviously, shooting low scores is very important, and a coach only wants a good score.
Yeah.
So that is important, but uh, throughout all the teams, or not teams, but coaches that I've met, um, every time I meet them, they say, what is your mentality like? Do you actually enjoy playing golf on a team and being around people that love golf? Um, and are you going to be a good team player? Like if you're having a bad day, are you going to be able to be happy for the guys that are having good days? And if you're having a really good day, are you going to be able to bring up the guys that are having bad days? So I think just being a really good team player is really important to uh, college golf coaches because it is an individual sport, but at the college and high school level, it's also a team sport, and you have to be able to fight for every shot and be there for all of it and like stay in it the whole time. So I think being just a really good human being is really helpful.
Yeah, that's something that I've heard before too. If you do get the opportunity to have a coach come out and watch you play and you don't have your best day, like it can be a like they understand you have bad rounds, but if you're throwing clubs and kind of just quit on the
Yeah,
round, that can be a deal breaker, even if you shot 62
yeah.
the day before.
I mean, attitude
Well,
and
that's
behavior is, I think, number one.
yeah, absolutely. Well, that's awesome and really good advice. I appreciate you kind of sharing your golf experience and lessons learned for. I know we have a lot of people in the clinic and just around the area that are always asking me about getting recruited for golf. So hopefully this can be a really good resource for other people to learn from. I know you're kind of getting your golf Instagram going on. Where can people find you online if they want to follow a little bit more about your golf journey and your golf story?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm on Instagram. I post quite a bit. I do like fun stuff with my friends, and then also like some more like what I shot that week. My golf pages is CPB underscore golf 26. Um, and just trying to grow it and see what happens.
Perfect. We will. make sure we get that added into the show notes. And thank you for your time and sharing all this. And thanks to everyone that's listening. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Yeah, thank you so much.